after game one? Did anything surprise you? Anything you didn't see on the field that you took away after watching the film?
Yeah, I like the way we played up front on the defensive line. Had a lot of push. Saw it coming from a lot of different areas, a lot of different angles, which was obviously been a big point of emphasis. So pleased with what we did there. But really both sides of the ball. I mean, there was a lot of clean plays. In a way, we probably played quite a bit cleaner game than we did a year ago against Rice. But we had a couple of critical errors on both sides that held us back at times. The fun thing is watching it. They're totally correctable. They're totally self-inflicted, and I would expect that they wouldn't, that we would not carry those forward because the amount of good on there is pretty solid.
Coach, what's the reason behind using a big
that was just our decision today as coaches.
What does he need to do to show you that he should be in the rotation a little bit more? That we didn't see him late in the game.
Yeah, it's competition. Malik's a really good player. But there's a lot of really good players here. The margins are really thin between a lot of these guys. And I would just encourage with him, like I would this entire team. Everybody wants to judge you like it's going to be like this the rest of the year after game one. Like it's one game. We didn't get judged last year on how the Rice game went. We all need to remember that. And for individual players, for units, for the entire team, there's a lot of good. Lake's done a lot of good. He's going to be a tremendous player. These are the things you go through. I start going down the names of guys that I've had play reps at times on the scout team, and there's quite a few that are big-time trophy winners and NFL players and all that good stuff. So it's everybody's process is different, especially when you're making a position change.
Thoughts on the debut of Singer and Lloyd, or any special messages to them in practice?
I thought Singer played pretty well. Made some plays for us. Was I thought really steady. Lloyd rushed things a little bit in the first half. Was a little bit too impatient. I think a little too excited. Calmed down in the second half, and you got to see a little bit of a glimpse in the second half of the kind of runner we think he can be.
What do you think about the corner position?
What?
Corners?
Corner position, yeah. Obviously, competition is going to still be ongoing. I mean, we were kind of like a lot of really both sides of the ball. There were some individual tremendous plays. Our coverage on the day was typically really good. Guys made some plays. We had a couple of times, obviously, that we didn't, and in corner world that shows up. And so there'll still be competition. A lot of bright spots with it. Was pleased with Christian Rollwallace and him coming in and making a few plays there at the end. And Damani and Sierra showed a lot as well. So there's going to keep competing. I feel like we got three good ones that can go out and play. And certainly, Jacoby right there. And so, we're going to keep pushing.
After the game, you were a little officiating. Have you got any feedback yet on these two missed calls?
Yes. I mean, I think we're, I think what we challenged was correct. And so, I mean, obviously the game was out of hand at that point, but you still competitively don't want to see that. Those special teams are bang deals. We were actually a part of one of the rule change a few years ago we played Kansas State up on the road and had kind of a wild one. And we actually ended up winning the review after they had reviewed it and not overturned it, and they put it back in our favor, which was the correct call. Now they look at everything, but there's a lot to look at, and there's a lot of interpretation, but I think it was pretty clear that our guy won.
What do you know about how Elijah's used him?
He's been really good. He's honestly, as a freshman, like through camp, really steady, like really steady. Kind of popped off the film in day one, and just kind of continually getting better, getting more comfortable, getting more confident. I think we planned to use him early in the rotations the other day, and we're not surprised at all by him jumping in there. And he made a big impact the very first half that he came in the game. But he's relentless. He's got a great first step off the ball. He's a strong, powerful build, and it's just going to be better and better.
What did Gino do to earn the start at USC?
It's been the most consistent. He's been one of our 5 most consistent players, and so we're excited to see him get some work there at guard and also at center. He's been working in both for us. He's made himself a really key defense. So there's a lot of competition going on right now, but he's certainly representing it.
We've talked a lot about problems as far as Saturday. Obviously a lot of shifting going on right now. Are you kind of looking to hopefully solidify things a little bit more for Saturday? What's the process around that?
It's just, we're going to let it play out. I mean, we went into the first game with a pretty good idea that we were going to use some pretty heavy rotations on all sides of the ball. I don't know that we'll plan to use that many, but if we're in situations where there's still competitions ongoing or guys have not separated themselves, then we're going to continue to create those opportunities, because like when you get on a really good team, guys should not be just fall into jobs because of default. You know, they shouldn't just fall their way into it just because there was nobody else, right? Like, you got to go step up and go take it over. And I think we've got some guys that are primed to do that and look like they're starting to make that move. But they've got to go together and finish Elijah's one. I think that really stood out. I think Jack Sullivan stood out. Made the one big mental mistake on the third and 22, but was very disruptive. I mean, you didn't feel his presence as much in the stat sheet, but then when you turned on the film on Sunday, you could see that presence. I thought Gentry played well. Offensive line, we thought Tarquin had a pretty good game, pretty good first game for us. Obviously, Austin did some really nice things. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot more good than bad, and like I said, the evaluation is so unique, because you can play 10 different 56 to 28 games, and all 10 of them are going to feel different, and the score is going to be the same in all of them. And you go back and see it, and like I said, I think we'll make a big jump to correct a lot of this, and I expect a very excited group, confident group of one that will go out and play clear games.
Thank you, Coach Riley.
Right. Thanks, everybody.